In the moments after the attack, the only sounds were screams. The school where many of these parents had dropped off their children not long before was now collapsed and gutted. The scale of death, clear from the air, rows and rows of tiny graves. Classmates in life and now death, a victim still wearing her backpack. Like in class, all lined up, a roll call of the dead. An official briefed on the initial review tells PBS NewsHour the strike was likely American. Video broadcast by the semi-official Mer news agency reportedly shows the strike and slowed down. Weapons experts say that is an American Tomahawk. And today, Iranian state media released these photos it said were taken at the site that appeared to show Tomahawk components.
I could already tell when initial reports came out on this strike, just looking at the damage, that this was a deliberately targeted strike package.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Yesterday, President Trump said that Iran, too, has Tomahawks. It does not. Although Iran does have cruise missiles, the same technology as in a Tomahawk.
Whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more.
And on Air Force One last weekend, President Trump blamed Iran.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions.
From what you're seeing, could it have been an Iranian air defense missile going awry?
You know, taken in aggregate with all of the other information we have, this targeting of the entire compound, the videos of the Tomahawk, the remnants of the Tomahawk, the hallmark of a U.S. strike. I say that's fairly improbable at this point. Potentially using targeting data that is a decade plus old and not updating it and not going in and verifying what's happening on the ground right now. Is this still actually a military target? Are there possibly civilians in it, even if it is? And how are we going to address that? None of that happened.
Greetings, my VPPN network. My name is Mr. Gray. War used to be fought with bombs, and today's fought with something else. Narratives, stories, claims, denials. In modern conflict, information spreads faster than any missile that's been designed. A politician speaks, the headline appears, a clip goes viral, and within minutes, millions of people believe they understand what just happened. But the truth in war is rarely that simple. Tonight, we are going to examine something deeper than the conflict itself. We're going to examine the story of the conflict. Because sometimes the most important battlefield is not overseas, it's actually the one inside of our own minds.
Iran has the entire world over a barrel because they control the Strait of Hormuz. They've even closed it, and they've mined it. And yet, ships still pass through it. Ships that they allow, of course, because they're in control. Except the United States just wiped out every military target on Iran's critical oil export hub, the Karg Island. And where's the Karg Island? Well, it's right here. It's so close to the Iranian shore And it was such a critical key piece of terrain for IRGC longevity and their ability to wage war. You would think that would be something that they would protect at all costs. Except they can't, and they didn't. This is a aerial footage from NASA's website, and as you can see, this is where they store the oil, and it's actually not that that large, nor is there much to it. There's a tiny little runway, and so it was an easy target, easy for the U.S. Air Force or the Navy, whichever one did it, to take out all of the key aspects of this island. The reason why that island was so critical to the IRGC is because it was their oil jugular. It's where they produced roughly 90% of all the oil that they were shipping off to China. So I guess my previous comment about the Marines that are going to support the AO, which is likely, they are not going there to secure that island because we just blew it up. But what we are likely going to use these Marines for is to assist in escorting civilian vessels. We'll actually deploy small squads, small fire teams of Marines on vessels, and they're going to have a lot of fun taking on any kind of incoming targets that the IRGC might send their way if they have any left to send at all. Because it's going to take them approximately 2 weeks to get there, and by then the Air Force and Navy will have sufficiently prepped the battle space by taking out all key targets that might be deemed a threat. And so the Strait of Hormuz might be a lot less contested environment once the Marines get there, but we will still employ them for all of those lone wolves out there and those that we simply could not find that are hiding in their holes and in the rubble. Now, will that send the price of oil going even higher? It's possible, especially now that China is not going to get any more shipments. But again, this is all just temporary. On top of that, as far as fears go that prices will rise, Trump does have control over the tariffs. He could actually argue to get them lowered, offsetting any kind of increase. Who knows?
War announcements always arrive with certainty, right? Strong language, absolute confidence, total success. But those announcements are not simply updates, they're narratives. Every government involved in a conflict must shape the public perception, because if the military power wins the battles, public support sustains the war. This is why the first version of an event often becomes the most powerful version. Even if later events tells a different story, no, but it's cool, it worked out. Excuse me.
An illegal war by America and Izzy is quite difficult for the American-centric media to cover. Look at this.
Why is attacking U.S. military bases abroad justified?
But because they are attacking us.
She asked him, why is Iran justified in attacking the bases of the country that attacked them? What a stupid question! We are constantly talking about, does Izzy have a right to defend itself? Does Iran not have a right to defend itself after an illegal and unprovoked attack by America and Izzy? You have to be completely doused in an America-centric mindset to ask an Iranian foreign minister, how are you justified in attacking American bases after America attacked your country unprovoked? Girl, what are you talking about?
You know, every war produces some kind of competing interpretation, right? One side calls it defense, the other side calls it retaliation. Each narrative attempts to explain the same event as a completely different way. And in the age of social media, these narratives spread faster than any other investigation ever could.
Breaking news. War escalates.
Civilian casualties mount, but we must retaliate. Drone threat neutralized.
We are tracking multiple threats across the sector.
It's never that I'm not taking this war serious, but when it comes to them bombing California, yeah, no. Pattern recognition is so important when you're paying attention to everything that's going on around you. Now, what is a false flag operation? It is a deceptive act that military, political, or covert carry out with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning the blame on another party, right? Hear me out. They told us that there is a threat that the coast of California can be hit with drones. And what do we have here? What's missing?
Where?
From where?
Who?
And what's going to be done to us? Now, these were taken back in November, but all of a sudden it's mainstream. All of a sudden we're getting threats. Why the fuck would they bomb California? Florida over there, Mar-a-Lago over there.
Fear changes the conversation instantly. Foreign conflict suddenly feels close, and yet if the public believes now that you're in danger, something could reach our own cities, attention shifts immediately. Oh, wait a minute. Because see, fear also spreads faster than the verification. A rumor can circle the world before the facts even begin their investigation. Goes back to what they said, a lie can travel half the world before the truth has a chance to even put its pants on.
Man, I woke up in America feeling so much safer now that Donald Trump bombed an elementary school. Thank God he killed over 50 little girls at an elementary school. We're all so much safer for it. The world is a better place for it. I'm already seeing so many comments saying, he needed to do this, guys. He needed to do this. He needed to bomb this elementary school. He needed to kill those little kids. That was necessary. Just like we needed to kill little kids in Gaza, right? And this is why I get so frustrated when I see Trump's fan base, a bunch of pro-life people, fighting so hard to protect fetuses. But when stuff like this happens, they'll say, it's a really hard decision, but it had to happen.
War is eventually the hardest question, right? Was it worth it? The question divides more societies than any military strategy ever could. Some people justify the damage as necessary. Others see tragedy that shouldn't be normalized. But the more debate isn't a side effect of war. It's a part of the war itself. And you have to choose a side. Either you're going to stand on the side of good or you're going to stand on the side of corruption. Bombs are destroying buildings. Narratives shape the memory, and every war produces some version of reality that's just a bunch of bullshit. One version claims victory, another claims injustice, another claims a misunderstanding, and once those versions begin circulating through the news outlets, social media, and public speeches, the battle of the truth begins, because history will not remember every mystery, but the one thing that history will remember is the stories that the people believed about the missiles. And in the modern world, controlling the narrative can be just as powerful as controlling the trigger. See, I'm gonna tell you one thing. As a proud uncle, if you were to touch my niece and harm her any way, I could promise you that your entire lineage would be erased from history. I'm not saying let's invoke anything, but you do not touch my family. Now, imagine if that were to happen to your family. What would you do? Remember, Florida is over that way. Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.